meltdown, if you would. I know it's a pandemic and we've got issues that are going on, especially when it comes to finances. We've got people without work, those that are recreating themselves, if you would. And I recognize that we're in a struggle. But guess what? Financially, we don't really have to be. And I recognize that as believers in the Word of God, that we take His Spirit with us and that we're grateful for everything that we have. That's the first thing, is that we need to be grateful, that it could be a whole lot worse. But even in the situation that we're in now, the Bible tells us that God gives us the power to get wealth. He gives us the strategic abilities, that creative ability, in order to not just survive this, but to thrive in the middle of it. Hi, I'm Dr. Chonta Haynes, and I just wanted to come on and say I am so grateful for what God has done and the abilities that He has given me with my educational background as well as my theological background to be able to help so many people. And I'm trying to do it in a multitude of ways. But let me just say this to you very quickly. Money talks, and it has a lot to say about you. And my hope is that it speaks well of you and the God that you serve. So I want you to click the link above, because I'm doing a wisdom wealth session, a workshop online, 4 hours, to be able to assist you in getting to where you need to be financially. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, in your adult life and said, I'm not where I need to be financially? Even before all of this happened, you probably thought to yourself, I really should have gotten on the bandwagon ahead of time and be able to get this done so that I wouldn't be stressing now. And you may not be stressing, but you recognize that at some point the savings may run out if this doesn't go away quickly, or the emergency fund is not there, and where can I find what I need to do? And how do I need to adjust or pivot, if you would, at this juncture? Well, I'm here to help. You see, when I went to college, I went to Georgia Institute of Technology. My original degree is electrical engineering. And I graduated in 3 years. Now, I didn't do it for some fame or claim to fame, if you would. I do recognize that the average graduating student is 5 years. And they told us to look to our left and look to our right. And I might have done that backwards depending on where you are on the camera. And they said that 2 of those people won't be there. They were right. I didn't do it just to say I got out in 3 years. I did it because I had a brother that was 2 years behind me. And because my parents as teachers were struggling financially, I recognized that the financial strain of college education was going to be added. But in addition, if both of us were in school for a minimum of 2 years, then that would put that strain on them for an additional 2 years, a heightened level, if you would. But here's the thing I also recognized, is that college tuition goes up every single year without fail. With that in mind, I recognized that if I got out early, I would save that increase in college tuition. That alone then means I was saving them and also allowing them to only have both of us in college at the same time for just 1 year. So it removes some of the stress, some of the strain. Now, I know you've heard about the Wisdom Wealth workshop that I'm doing on April the 18th. And I'm so excited that you're here to listen. But I've had some questions that I need to go ahead and answer. I want to give you some facts about this because you might have some doubts or you might have some additional questions before you click the link above. Some might be asking, how long have I been doing this? Well, I've been teaching theology for over 15 years. I've been in the industry of engineering, meaning I'm a problem solver, for over 30 years. So I've got some experience there. I'm also a 3-time author. I've got books on the subject. I've taught the classes in biblical finance. I recognized that people were not putting feet to their faith. They were getting the theology in theory, but they were not practically applying it. And so I married that information together so that I would be able to bring that to you. I've worked with countless number of individuals, as well as with churches, as well as entrepreneurs, on how to adjust or pivot, if you would, their finances. So you can look at it and say, I've been doing this for the past 30 years or more. I'm not trying to date myself. However, I've had the time in to be able to help you minimize the time it's going to take you to learn the same principles and use the tools that I've developed to put together. Now, you also may be asking, well, who have you helped? And I've kind of answered some of that in the individuals as well as the churches, as well as some entrepreneurs as well. And they've all been helped at different levels depending on the program that I've done for them. In this intense workshop for 4 hours, I take you through everything that you need to do specifically for your situation. Now, what I'm offering is I'm limiting it to 30 individuals. I only have 30 spots. And the reason being is that I want to be able to answer your question. I want to be able to help transform your life as it relates to finances. And I can't do that with a multitude of people. I can't open it up for everyone. But because I already have some students that were planning on being at a physical location with me, up to 20 students, which is what I normally do, I've extended it to only 30 students, and we're doing it virtually. Now, you're also going to probably wonder, well, what kind of results do you have? Now, my last customer that I just had, let's call her Miss W. She's on a fixed income. I did a wealth wisdom session with her. And coming out of that, first of all, going into it, her mindset was thinking that one, she did not want to be a broke, retired person. But number two, she thought she would always be in debt. But coming out, she was grinning ear to ear at the very beginning because I had that opportunity to tell her that she's in the best financial position than anyone. Why? She's on a fixed income. She's not worried about what's changing in the world. But guess what? Walking out of that, we eliminated her banking fees, which saved her $136 a year. We found an overpayment that she had paid the utility company, $780. Bringing that in, immediately fully funded her emergency fund of $1,000. Now, she's also got savings, and she's going to have additional savings that's going to be consistent going forward. But that immediately gave her some relief to say, I've got this money sitting there already saved. In addition to that, we balanced her budget in such a way that not only is she spending, she's also giving to areas and the charities that she wants to, as well as having some fun items in her budget. She said she's mad happy. But on top of that, I told you, she said she thought she was going to always be in debt. Instead, we did the debt calculation for her, and in so doing, she had a legal deal that was against her. That's going to be paid off in 8 months. She has a condo, which will be paid off in 2 years. And finally, she had a student loan. And that student loan will be completely paid off in 6 years. So in 6 years, she will be completely financially free. Free of those big debts. She won't have anything hanging over her head. And she will have a lot more freedom. Now, yes, I don't promise that you're going to be rich immediately. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, not by any stretch of the imagination. We're following God's plan, we're following God's economy, and we're following God's wisdom. That's why I call it a wisdom wealth session or workshop in this case. So those are some of the results. I have another customer, let's call her Miss C. She came to me in premarital counseling, and her spouse now, at that time, they were just engaged. They had different personalities in the way they handled money. And we talked about what she could do, and significantly in debt. She reduced over $10,000 in debt in a very short period of time, if you would. So I've gotten the results. And those are some of the same results that I want to be able to help you get, because I know you can get there. Now, if you're looking in the mirror saying, I'm not where I really want to be, and there's a place that I really want to go, well, I want to be the one to help you get there. Number one, I'm uncompromising when it comes to the Word of God. And number two, I've got a heart to want to help. You know, God has blessed me in such a fashion, in such a way that I really want to give back. And this is one of the ways that I'm able to do it. Now, yes, it's on virtual now, and yes, it's going to be limited now, so I don't want you to waste your time and say, oh, I'll wait to the very end and hope that there's still a spot. But right now, for April 18th, I would like for you to go ahead and click the link so that you can get in that class. Some of the other questions, though, that I did get. Oh, let me give you a tip. I gave this tip earlier, so if you didn't hear it before, I want to make sure that I tell you now. I talked about the banking fees. I don't want you to pay anyone to hold your money. If you have banking fees, whether it be in the checking account, whether it be in the savings account, whether it be in the money market, anywhere it is located, you want to eliminate those fees. That's money that you're giving away to the bank. You're giving them to hold your money. The banking system changed a couple years ago where they started charging these fees. And we're going to even talk about other companies that are charging you these nominal fees, or what seems to be a very minor amount, but they add up very quickly. If, for instance, you have a banking fee of $10 a month just for maintenance on your checking account, that's $120 a year. You could be saving that. It could be making money for you. It could be paying off another bill, or it could be some fun that you would have. So you definitely want to eliminate the banking fees. I call these as disruptors, things that are coming in that are disrupting your balanced budget, if you would. Now, budgeting, I know some people think that's a difficult word to deal with, but it's just a systematic approach to say what's coming in and what's going out. You have a way of looking at that, and you don't spend any more than you bring in. My goal is to help you keep or maximize what you do have. It's not a matter of you making more money. It's a matter of you keeping more of what you earned. And then, like I like to say, you become an automatic millionaire because you're saving consistently. And I try to make it as fun as possible. Let me give you another tip. God created us each in a different way. We have our own personalities. And I know you've probably seen some out there that came up with these money personalities. Well, I created a biblical financial personality sheet that actually goes by scripture, and it identifies why you might be struggling with trying to budget. Now, depending on how you handle money and what your financial personality is, I give you some tips on how to remove the struggle from budgeting so that it goes along with how God created you, and it makes it easy for you to handle. Whether it's your steam personality, water, fire, or ice, I give you what you need in order to do that. Now, you might be saying, but I'm struggling right now. How can you help me because I'm in a struggle? Well, one of the things that I recognize is sometimes we do have to start over. And in my life, I've actually gone through quite a bit. My middle daughter, Jasmine, passed away. And she got sick before she passed away. And when she got sick, because she had seizures with the onset of illness, I had to come home from work. I was working in engineering, and we were a two-income family, but both of us were contributing. And it was almost like starting over. It was more of changing the financial playing field. We went from two incomes down to one. So I know what it's like to have to readjust your budget in order to meet a need within the family. But in addition to that, I've also had some marriage struggles. And who, being married for over 28 years, has not had any struggles, not only with finances, but just general marriage struggles anyway. But I've also worked with some individuals who have ended up coming out of a marriage situation and are starting over, and having to recognize that they're now the ones that are responsible for handling all of the money management issues, whether it be your parentals that handled it beforehand, or somebody else used to handle the finances. You now find yourself having to do that. I've learned, and I know some of the nuances within that as well, of how to make sure that you are going to be financially secure and have that secure future, and one that's going to build a legacy going forward. Now, if you're ready, I think the Wisdom Wealth Workshop is for you. If you want to be that beacon of light for others to follow, because God said that we're supposed to let our light so shine before men so that they would see our good works and glorify our Father which is in heaven. Well, if you're ready to be that beacon of light for others, I'm ready to assist you. I stand ready, willing, and able to assist you. I don't want to just give you a fish sandwich. I want to teach you how to fish. I want to teach you how to adjust your life no matter what comes, that you can pivot appropriately and still not just survive, but to thrive. So here's the offer. The Wisdom Wealth Workshop is going to be held on April the 18th via Zoom. We're doing it virtually, so there'd be no interruptions. It's for 4 hours from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. During that time, I'm going to take you from goal setting and mindset all the way to net worth and everything in between. But I'm going to specifically tailor it to you as you're a part of that group. The group is going to decide where we stay a little bit longer and where we can skip a little bit further. But you might be saying, but I want everything. And what if the people in the group are asking more questions that don't necessarily have to deal with me? Well, one of the beauties of a workshop like this is that not only do you get coaching from me, but you also get side door coaching. I'm going to make sure I answer your question. But what I put together is I put together the entire package, and you're going to get all of the worksheets and all of the information ahead of time so that you can even go back to it a little bit later. Let me answer another question that's probably on your mind. But what if I need more of your assistance as I go through this? That's a good question. What I'm going to do is, for this time only, I said 30 spots. It's going to be on April 18th. I'm closing the cart on the 11th of April at 11:59 p.m. So you're going to make sure you want to get in there. But what I'm doing for this particular time is not only am I doing the 4-hour direct coaching, group coaching that I'm going to be doing with you during the workshop, I'm also giving you the information, the materials ahead of time. So you're going to have that going forward. You're going to have all the tools that you need. But I'm also throwing in my online class. Yes, I already have an online class that is 5 weeks in length that you can go through week by week. Every single thing that I'm going to talk about, and probably some other things that are going to be thrown in there. Our class is going to be individual, tailored specifically to you, but I want you to have this base information. Now that's a $297 value. Yes. In addition to that, I'm throwing in the Biblical Financial Personality set. So that particular course is a $97 value. I want to make sure that you're able to remove that struggle from money management based on your personality. We'll probably talk about some of those in the workshop, but all of them will be identified and available for you to use as well. I will also have you invited into the private Facebook group. That's like having me be able to coach you sitting across the desk from me, one-on-one. I'm going to be answering whatever questions you put in there, and it will be me that answers your questions. You'll have access to that group for a full year. Now that's an over $2,000 value right there. So I'm trying to make sure I give you as much value as I can, and to make it, where it's a no-brainer that yes, I want to be in there. You're probably asking, is it going to meet my needs? Again, I'm going to tailor it specifically to you. Now, or to the group, if you would. So your questions are going to be answered. I've also had a question of who is this for? It's for any individual, any believer. Let me start off with that. Any believer, child of God, this is, I want to live financially free. It's for you. Whether you be an individual, whether you be a couple, whether you are an entrepreneur in your business, you want to make some changes in your business, or even on your personal side to make sure that the personal is able to support the business, or even if you are a church leader and you want to be able to look at this to get your finances in order so that you can lead others a little bit better. Yes, that's for you. Now, who it's not for, if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, or something that's just going to say, hey, money's coming in the mail and you're going to receive a check, it's not that. It's not a program where I am trying to sell you anything. I am not going to tell you what businesses to get in. If that's what you're looking for, this is not the program for you. Now you might be asking about the cost. The cost is $497 per person, and I only have 30 spots. But what I just told you as far as the value is concerned, it's going to far exceed it. Now, that $497 is a fraction of the cost of what I charge for my individual attention on a one-on-one coaching to help get your finances in order. But because I'm throwing in so much, you're definitely getting the best deal ever. And you can't beat it. You will be active in doing your materials. You will be active in making sure you get those things done. I'm going to help you put feet to your faith and walk it out. You might say faith without works is dead. I believe that just if you only get the theology portion of it and you don't practically apply it, then you won't feel and get the sense of what God really wants you to have. Jeremiah 29:11, he says that I know the plans that I have for you. They're plans to prosper you. I want you to have a hope and an expected end. So I'm giving you everything that I can. Plans. You're going to talk about your purpose. We're going to talk about your legacy. I'm going to make sure you have the activities and the tools to get those things done. We're going to talk about your specific nature as well as the systems of the world that we can get off the treadmill and we can make sure that we are prospering according to God's plan. He says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So, here's the other thing I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you a money-back guarantee. If after going through the workshop and getting all the materials, if you are not empowered with every other tool that I've added to you, if you're not empowered in order to change your financial future, change your mindset, get on a path to get there. It's not going to be overnight. You're not going to have it all complete in 4 hours and say, yes, I'm completely out of debt. That's not going to happen. But you will be empowered with a plan, a blueprint in order to get you there, to save consistently, to give, save, and spend. All of that is going to be rolled into one. If you feel that you did not get the value out of that, then by all means, send me an email once it's done, and I'll gladly refund your money. I don't want to take from you. I want to give to you. I want to be a blessing to you. And so that you can then turn around and be a blessing to others. Now again, it's a limited time offer. I only have 30 spots and it's going to close on April the 11th. The event is April the 18th at 10 a.m. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I want to see you there. I want to see your life completely change when it comes to finances. So jump on board now. Don't wait. Don't delay, because I can't promise that those spots are going to still be available. I look forward to helping you help yourself as well as your family change the trajectory of your financial future. We're looking for economic independence. We're looking for financial freedom. So we need God's financial wisdom in order to do that. I'm Dr. Chonta Haynes. Go ahead and click the button and join me on the workshop.